Bonjour, comment allez-vous? This is the Crypto Kid podcast, and today we discuss Bitcoin blast past 93,000 US dollars. Next stop, 100,000 US dollars. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is November 13th, 2024. This is the Crypto Kid podcast. The market sentiment is way beyond what I expected. I predicted for the last few months that once Donald Trump was elected and the official announcement was made, that Bitcoin would go beyond 85,000 US dollars. In addition to that, I correctly predicted that Bitcoin would reach the price of 75,000 US dollars by election day. And I was correct, as Polymarket polls supported my claim, where 66% of all bettors on the Polymarket betting website voted that Donald Trump would win the popular vote. And Donald Trump, I think they're still counting in California more than a week later. California and Arizona are actually absolutely ridiculous, but I believe they're both still counting. And currently, Donald Trump leads Kamala Harris by more than 3,500,000 votes. So it was a landslide in the popular vote, as well as a landslide in the Electoral College. I correctly predicted that Donald Trump would win by 312 Electoral College votes. Let's see where the current tally is, because I've lost track. I've just simply lost track. Okay. Okay, so they still, let's see. They've only counted 84% of the votes. And so Donald Trump. So the final right now is 312 Electoral College votes to Donald Trump and 226 to Kamala Harris. So that is, I have to thank Roger Stone for that. Roger Stone accurately predicted that Kamala Harris had 220 votes and that Donald Trump had 312 Electoral College votes. So that prediction that I made was due to Roger Stone. So I'm giving credit to Roger Stone. Originally, the day after the Tim Walz, J.D. Vance vice presidential debate, Carrie Sheffield suggested at that time that she had done a polling of the Electoral College directly, and she had Donald Trump at 287 votes. And then she had Kamala Harris at 200, between 230 and 235 votes. Fast forward about a month later, Roger Stone said he had Kamala Harris at 220 Electoral College votes and Donald Trump at 312. And that's what I stuck with. In addition to that, Polymarket betting polls had Donald Trump receiving 66% of the popular vote, while Kamala Harris, there was a 33% chance that she would win. So that's a 2-to-1 odds in favor of Donald Trump that he was going to win. And nothing changed despite CNN fake news polls, MSNBC. These CNN and MSNBC are going to be the first two channels that go up for auction and sale. I believe, and as Sebastian Gorka always says, more people watch reruns of Yogi Bear than that watch CNN. They've lost so much of their viewership. I don't even know how they can pay people that maybe they're not even paying the people that we see on the airwaves. Maybe those people are volunteering because CNN and MSNBC, they don't have any more money left to pay these people to produce fake news. In addition to that, I think it's laughable that the Kamala Harris campaign is at a $20 million deficit that they owe the DNC, and they overspent. And isn't it interesting that when Bill Gates, it was announced that Bill Gates donated $50 million to the Kamala Harris campaign, that all of a sudden Donald Trump's lead in the Polymarket betting polls went from 33% all the way down to 8 or 9%. And then the day before the election, it rose back up to 21%. So it is very likely that the entire $50 million that Bill Gates donated to the Kamala Harris campaign was betted at the Polymarket poll site on Kamala Harris, just to skew that data and make it seem as if the general population had turned a sentiment towards Kamala Harris. But that did not work. I mean, they did everything. And now some of the ridiculous claims that are being suggested is that Joe Biden should step down for the remaining 60 days of his presidency and let Kamala Harris step in there. Like, why would he do something silly like that? I mean, the reality is that Kamala Harris was never a good candidate from the start. She hasn't done anything to legitimately earn her way to the White House. It is rumored that she pressured Joe Biden, along with a lot of African-American rap artists, that they were going to boycott his campaign if he did not appoint Kamala Harris as his VP running mate. And the thing about it is, this is after she insulted him and called him racist. So Kamala Harris is just, man, she is just the most crooked candidate, politician we've seen. And I think only Hillary Clinton can top her, that this woman had no qualifications. And here's the thing, the fake news media helped cover all of her bad behavior. She used to be on YouTube bragging of how she was putting all these African Americans in jail for simple marijuana possessions when she was the district attorney of the city and county of San Francisco. And somebody, meaning one of the federal agencies, scrubbed YouTube and all social media of all of her bragging episodes of how many black men that she put into prison. And the fake news media never brought these topics up. And this is how complicit in supporting that the fake news media, namely MSNBC and CNN, but ABC, CBS, and NBC, they're right there too. And I would definitely put ABC right there, that none of the fake news media asked her any of these important questions about how many people she incarcerated as district attorney over marijuana possession. And then she ran all of these ads on social media saying, if you vote for me, I'll make marijuana federally legal. I mean, that's how desperate she is. So she didn't even deserve to be the vice president for Joe Biden, in particular after she attacked him in the presidential debate and called him a racist. But this is the exact same mistake that Barack Obama made with Hillary Clinton by putting her on his cabinet and making her Secretary of State. And that is why Rahm Emanuel left. So the Democrats keep making this same mistake of making somebody, giving them a position based upon obligation, and the person really didn't earn it or deserve it. And Kamala Harris is no different. Then she had no plan. She had no plan on how she would change the economy, and she was locked into, she couldn't explain, well, if you have no plan for the economy, why did you support the Joe Biden economy? She could have said, hey, as vice president, my job is just to support the president and whatever his agenda is, but she couldn't even articulate that. And that is what really doomed her. And then she thought that the media, which she was shunning and refused to give interviews to, could carry her through the major talking points because she couldn't answer any of the major talking points. And most of her interviews were softball interviews. The CBS 60 Minutes interview was the only difficult interview that she was given. And they still edited that interview to make her responses seem positive and coherent. And that didn't work for her. So I keep trying to tell people that if you go back to 91 and 92, what was the year? I think it was 91, 92, Warren Beatty, Wag the Dog. 1997. Wow. Okay. That's how old that movie is. 1997. Everybody needs to go back to watch that movie in 1997, Wag the Dog, where Warren Beatty was the star. And basically, he was showing how wars would be propagandized by having girls and children in a Hollywood studio being filmed, and then putting a fake background behind the girl as if there's bombs and fire and missiles and all this stuff. And that's how you could get America, trick American citizens into supporting a war by Hollywood falsely producing in their studio using special effects, like it's a Star Wars movie or a war movie with all these special effects from Universal Studios, and then it would make the American people support the war. And that is what Kamala Harris, with George Clooney writing that letter to the New York Times, that effectively killed Joe Biden's presidential campaign. And then Barack Obama, who will not go away, now he steps in and he says, well, your replacement, Joe Biden, is going to be Kamala Harris. And she was not vetted. She was not qualified. They just really made a mistake. So most of the blame falls on all three of their shoulders. Barack Obama, because he will not go away. He already was president for 8 years, but he cannot leave Washington. Joe Biden for being greedy and wanting the presidency when he knew he didn't have the mental cognition and mental stamina and physical stamina to make it through the entire 4 years. Kamala Harris for cheating and strong arming Joe Biden to make her his VP in the first place, and then Nancy Pelosi for none of them instituting Article 25. So this is how all of this stuff occurred. I'm glad it's over. It's time for us to get back to the economy. With that, this is the Crypto Kid. The economy is just going to continue to improve. And if anything special happens, we'll come back with a special report.